For over 30 years, the Eurostar high-speed train has been linking the UK with France, Belgium, and in more recent years the Netherlands, with plenty of change to come. This also includes its recent merger with Thalys, which has led Eurostar to overhaul its service offering to make it at least a little bit less confusing. Today, we'll be checking out the all-new Eurostar Plus on one of the operator's iconic E300 trains, taking a ride from the Belgian capital Brussels to the British capital London. Now join me as the journey continues. To those who have been following me for a while, you'll know that Brussels is often both the start and end of another European rail odyssey, and this time is no exception. Having travelled all the way from Sweden by train, it's time for the final leg home as we pull in to Brussels South Station. Despite its name, Bruxelles-Midi, or Brussels Zuid, acts as the main station for Brussels' long-distance and international traffic. Open in 1869 as a domestic terminus station, it's gradually evolved into a major hub for train travel not only across Belgium, but also internationally throughout Europe. There's also been a large addition of shops and eateries across the station, which you may want to make use of before heading to the Eurostar check-in, but I'll get back to this shortly. Midi station is the busiest station in Belgium and one of the busiest in Europe, with over 62,000 passengers daily from lots of different countries. It's also worth noting that Belgium has a total of 3 official languages: French, Dutch and German, and with Midi station hosting many connections across Europe to places such as the Netherlands, Germany, France and even the Czech Republic, keeping up to date with your languages is extremely beneficial. That's where today's video sponsor Rosetta Stone can help. Rosetta Stone is an immersive language learning app that adopts an expert-built approach, meaning learning a new language has never been easier. Now, I've been in education for the past 20 years or so of my life, and I find that an interactive and engaging learning experience like what Rosetta Stone provides is far more beneficial than just sitting in a classroom, having someone talk to you for 30 to 60 minutes, and then frantically study for an exam. They achieve this by pairing pictures with audio from native speakers, which provides a unique and engaging learning experience that not only helps to learn a new language faster, but also improves its retention. The lessons provided by Rosetta Stone are not only designed to make you conversation ready from your first session, they can also benefit from the provider's voice recognition tool to nail the perfect pronunciation of even the most difficult of words.
Il travaille à la poste.
The thing I love most about Rosetta Stone, however, is not only are lessons as short as 10 minutes, but the app makes it possible to learn no matter where you are, meaning you can learn a new language speeding at 300 km per hour and even heading under the sea. So what are you waiting for? Get started with Rosetta Stone today using my code in the description for 60% off lifetime subscriptions, which gives access to 25 different languages. Amongst the international services here is Eurostar, most being those which formerly ran under the Thalys brand, which merged with Eurostar in September 2023. These Eurostar Red services run from Paris to Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany, using TGV PBA and PBKA high-speed trains, though the blue Eurostar trains we all know and love have recently been operating some of these services too, which can be confusing. What's also confusing is the Eurostar stand here, which, if you enter from the other side, can be an easy mistake to make for the check-in spot. If you enter from the side I started at, however, the check-in's pretty hard to miss, and ours is open now for the 1452, one of 9 trains per day to London St Pancras International. Eurostar recommends to arrive between 90 and 45 minutes before departure to check in. I usually aim for an hour, as you have up to 30 minutes before departure before check-in closes, and queues can be very busy. Fortunately, this wasn't the case for me today. After scanning my e-ticket on the QR reader to head through the barriers, it's time to go through a quick and brief security check. No need to take out any liquids or electronics, just put the bag straight through. Finally, there's 2 passport checks by the Belgian side and that of the British, as the UK isn't part of the European Schengen zone, and after this, we're home free. Past the duty-free section of the departure lounge, don't expect anything too fancy. I mean, it's hard enough as it is just to get a seat. There are plenty of vending machines though, and for those on premium tickets or carte blanche and étoile Eurostar status, the Business Premier Lounge. Have you tried it before? Boarding is called around 20 minutes before departure, and up the travellators we finally get a glimpse of our train. Eurostar use a mixture of their newer Siemens Volaro E320 units and older Alstom TGV TMST trains, which were rebranded as E300 following an extensive refurbishment in the late 2010s, the name referring to their top speed of 300 km per hour. Having been in service since Eurostar commenced operations in 1994, only a lucky 8 of the original 38 sets built remain in active passenger service between London, Paris and Brussels, the remainder either stored, preserved or scrapped. These 8 sets are formed of 2 power cars and 18 articulated passenger coaches. I'm in coach 12 for today's trip, which is one of the 6 possible coaches for both Eurostar Plus and Eurostar Premium, formerly standard or business premier depending on the direction of travel. The main difference between Plus and Premium being the increased flexibility, hot meal service and lounge access in the latter. These changes were made to better align with the former Thalys services, which also now use these designations. Both Plus and Premium accommodation use the same seating, which is in a 2x1 configuration and features a very high quality interior, one that, in my opinion, is far more premium than that of the E320s, as we'll see later in the trip. There is a handy seat selector too, which for now is only available on London Eurostars, and it looks like I'm the man in seat 61 for this trip. There's also plenty of luggage storage too, as to be expected, with plenty of overhead storage space as well as larger racks in the vestibules for heavier items. Our journey to London goes via France with one intermediate stop at Lille, Europe, before heading under the sea via the Channel Tunnel to eventually make the final stretch to the British capital, taking as little as 2 hours and 5 minutes, covering a distance of 373 kilometres. Lovely stuff! We leave Brussels on time at 14:52 as we sit back, relax and look forward to the journey ahead up to London. We may not be at the far end of the train, but 12 carriages in still provides us with the impressive view of our train snaking out of Brussels as we head towards the high speed line. We're now on the HSL1, which as the name suggests is the first high-speed line to have been brought into use in Belgium in 1997, and links the country with the French border towards Lille and the Channel Tunnel in the north, and Paris in the south. Despite the poorer acceleration compared to the E320s, our E300 wastes no time in reaching our top speed for today of 300 km per hour, and with that, let's not waste any more time ourselves and take a look at the train's interior. One of the more superior features over the E320s is the seat, which especially in Plus or Premium is much comfier on the E300s with superb padding and ergonomics. Each side also has foldable armrests as well as incredible legroom, which alone is worth the upgrade to Plus for the right price, and we'll see why later. You can even adjust this if you wish using the manual recline function, which is located on the window side. Tray table wise, this is quite large as you'd expect from a TGV. Easy to work from and enjoy some food. There's also a smaller one for holding a mobile device and for a mirror to see how good you look. The table seats feature rather smart retractable sections as featured on the E320 trains, which I rather like. Below the foldable table is a seat back pocket, located just next to the USB-A and power socket, which can either be a UK 3-pin or a 220V European socket depending on where you're sat, mine being an example of the latter. Above this, you'll find a retractable cup holder as well. A reading light is located on the window side too, which worked pretty well and was fairly simple to activate through the switch next to the recline, with coat hooks being located at the top of the seat. Finally, there's a draw-down blind which, unlike the E320s, blocks the view a lot better, though there are still some see-through portions as you can see. Overall, a brilliant interior for the Eurostar Plus offer, possibly even a bit overkill for the journey times these trains do, but at the prices that Eurostar charge, yeah, I'll come back to that a bit later. Shortly before reaching the end of the HSL1, the attendance came with the meal service offered in Eurostar Plus. As with the old standard Premier on the London routes, this is in the form of a cold meal, and if you have any dietary requirements, these can be informed up to 48 hours before departure. I went for the halal option, and the overall presentation is much better than it was before Eurostar revamped its service offer. They've even managed to update the logos on the cutlery and cups provided, which is a nice touch. The journey on the HSL1 is a brief 30-ish minutes before we enter France and make a brief stop at Lille, Europe. As at the time of editing, this is one of two non-capital stations not to have been axed by Eurostar, the other being Rotterdam Centraal in the Netherlands. Most people boarding here will be those connecting from other major cities in France, or, like me, those who constantly struggle to get reservations for the direct service from Paris. We're now back on the move and soon enter the LGV Nord, the second and longest stretch of high-speed line on our trip today. The line opened in 1993, initially serving communities in northern France, but now provides a key role in serving neighbouring Belgium as well as the Channel Tunnel rail link to the UK. Travelling again at 300 km per hour, this is a great opportunity to show just how quiet and smooth the E300 is thanks to its brilliant ride quality. Soon enough, we pass Calais-Fréthun station, a former Eurostar station which is closed indefinitely to international traffic as the operator focuses on its core routes. Take note as well of the fencing to prevent any illegal immigration, previously a common occurrence in the early years of the Eurostar service through various means, and as the fencing increases and our speed reduces to 160 km per hour, this indicates that we are about to enter the Channel Tunnel, the engineering marvel of the trip. This is currently the third longest railway tunnel in the world and has the longest underwater segment. Opened in May 1994, it's recently celebrated its 30th anniversary, much like Eurostar did a month before I did this recording, as highlighted by the commemorative decals adorning the northern portal entrance. Don't expect any Finding Nemo scenes whilst you're down here. The journey through the tunnel lasts for around 20 minutes, so you can spend your time browsing the fast and free Wi-Fi, which works perfectly fine down here, taking in the tunnel trivia which has thankfully returned since the rebrand, or, as I did, do a walkthrough of the train to show you more. This is Eurostar Standard, which hasn't really changed since the new fare structure was introduced, though the main difference is added flexibility, as is the case for Plus and Premium. This makes up 10 carriages of the E300 sets, and I know I've been bashing the E320s quite a bit compared to the E300s in this video so far, but in all honesty the legroom in Standard on the latter is cramped and very poor in comparison, and whilst the comfort is an improvement, I'd take the space provided on the E320 Standard offering any day if you ask me. In the vestibules, you'll also find magazines as well as the usual safety cards, which have been updated to reflect the new Eurostar brand. Coaches 6 and 13 are where you'll find the dedicated cafe cars, though given the meal service offers in Premium and Plus, this is more useful for those in Standard. You can also buy Paris Metro tickets and London Underground Oyster cards here too, if you don't fancy wasting time in the inevitably long queues upon arrival. The dedicated wheelchair spaces on the train are found in carriages 9 and 10, alongside wheelchair accessible toilets which are very spacious and clean inside. Give or take the small amounts of tap water on the floor. The standard toilets, which are found throughout the rest of the train, are much less spacious but still better than most aircrafts flying between London and continental Europe. 20 minutes later, we now exit the Channel Tunnel into Folkestone, Kent, following alongside the conventional third rail electric lines the E300s previously used for the first 13 years of operation. Nowadays, all Eurostar trains use the 300 km per hour capable HS1 line, the UK's first and currently only high-speed line, which opened in 2007. Below us is Ashford International, which, alongside Ebbsfleet and Calais, which we passed earlier, is another victim of Eurostar's station cull, with again no plans set yet for reinstating services. As sunset approaches, the Medway Viaduct is soon crossed, which is the site of one of Eurostar's E300 trains setting the UK speed record of 334.7 km per hour in July 2003, which still stands to this day and is recorded by a monument just next to the viaduct, though it has seen better days. After passing the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, it's now the home straight to London St Pancras. I'm pleased to see Eurostar making changes to its offerings to make it less confusing with those of the former Thalys routes, and the service offering seeing a much needed presentation improvement too, though as is always my complaint with Eurostar, they really need to reduce their prices. Eurostar Plus fares start at £98 and standard at £51, with Premium a whopping £279 on the London to Brussels route, though prices are often a lot higher than this due to dynamic pricing. Ways around this are to use Eurostar Snap where possible, or, as I did, use an Interrail pass if you're planning lots of train travel in Europe, with me paying €40 to reserve my seat due to compulsory reservation. But there's good news at least. Eurostar will hopefully be facing competition in the next few years, with the main challenges expected to be a Trenitalia and Evelyn joint venture and or Virgin Trains, and with Eurostar's expansion plans into Germany and Switzerland on the table in the coming years, there's certainly some hope for travel from the UK into continental Europe. After passing the white elephant of Stratford International, we now reach the majestic London St Pancras International, arriving 2 minutes late and bringing an end to another European rail odyssey.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. You too.
Now you've heard from me, I want to hear from you. Have you taken the Eurostar before? What route did you do, and are you excited for the future both for and against the operator? Let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and share it if you did to aid the channel's growth, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content such as this weekly. Now I'm off home for some much needed rest and relaxation before heading back to work. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip, and I look forward to bringing you with me on my next one.